Several members of Biden's White House advance team have resigned following an investigation into complaints of verbal harassment and abuse of the staff. You know, this story's been kicking around a long time. And the first time I read it, I go, yeah, people are just so sensitive. But then, you know, it's these these blasts of GD and Fs, you know, the whole F slinging around. And you go, well, maybe there's something to maybe there's something to this. You know, he's old, he's tired, he doesn't want to have any kind of resistance. I think the first time I saw it was when they said to him, you know, you're getting your ass kicked. You know, and the polls are killing you. He went crazy, right? Yeah. What do you think of the story?
Well, and in this particular case, we're finding out like, yeah, okay, well, we know Biden, he's got a temper behind the scenes, and we've seen that throughout his career. But this one is actually goes even deeper into the staff, into this weird, what's called the advance team, which is made up of both White House staffers and campaign staffers. It's where they strategize on what he's going to do in the office versus what he's going to do on the campaign. So what we found out through an investigation, I mean, the which office was it here? The White House counsel's office had to investigate because they were
required to investigate.
Yeah, because they got so many complaints from these staffers saying that their supervisors, led by a man by the name of Ian Mellol, he was not physically abusing them, but abusing his position, screaming at them, telling them, if you don't do what I say, I'm going to ruin your life, making them go pick up his dry cleaning and running his personal errands, according to this report. So he resigned before the investigation could go too deep. But this is what bothers me so much about Washington, D.C., because it's not just about the dysfunction. It is these people. You got two separate kinds of people that get into work as staffers for members of Congress or for the president. You've got the people that, for some reason, think they're going to make a difference, and those are the hopeful, optimistic, they will be crushed soon enough. But then you have these power-hungry little freaks like this guy who go in there, they get on this power trip, and they say, well, I'm in charge of 5 people, so obviously I am the king of this castle. Go get my dry cleaning. You go get me coffee. I am the king of the Biden White House.
Isn't the Biden White House the kinder, gentler White? I mean, wasn't that supposed to be the deal?
You know, see, that's the thing is it never actually works out that way because you have too many of these power-hungry weirdos that latch themselves on to the Democrats. They latch on to the Republicans. And they help destroy things from the inside out.
Republicans just as bad. I mean, it is. You hit it on the head. It is this power trip, right? They really think that what they do really matters. They really think that what they're set out to do is going to have a big impact. Most of the time has zero impact. But the criticism where you see with Biden, I mean, the first time I saw it, I think, was the Anita Hill hearings.
Yeah.
I saw a side, I'm going, what the hell? You know, him attacking this woman who has been, Clarence Thomas had clearly victimized this woman. There wasn't a story here that she's making up. And Biden jumps on the train. Anita Hill this, Anita Hill that, basically stands up and starts making these speeches about how awful she is.
Yeah.
She was just there trying to protect herself and trying to tell the story that Clarence Thomas was making all kinds of advances to her. I've never seen anything like it. But then I think he disappeared at that point. But now you're hearing these stories again, and it's not just him, it's his entire staff that you're hearing stuff like that.
You see the dysfunction decaying the administration from the inside out.
Yeah.
And that is one thing, like, look, we get it. These people, especially he's old, he's crotchety, he's mad sometimes, and sometimes he's eating ice cream and he's happy. But if you can't get good enough people in as your staffers, then you're going to have this dysfunction. And we saw it a lot, and I talked about it a lot during the Trump administration. That's when things boil over and it becomes a massive story. And it's because you picked bad people. You did this. You're ultimately responsible.
It all flows from the top.
Yeah.
It all flows from the top.
And we just don't have people in D.C., again, left or right, that are picking good enough staffers to keep things running.
Yeah.
And they do think they're too important to...
Yeah, they don't pay them anything. They have a sense of importance. They're in a bubble that is so weird where they really do believe that what they do really does matter. And they're just passing through, and This was awful during the Trump administration too. We did a story on this on the Trump administration. It was the same kind of thing. I mean, all the way from Trump down to his staff, just absolutely abusing people as if this is the new norm. Feed him more ice cream. Maybe that's going to help. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
That's all for this week, but all these segments are going to be posted right here on this channel in the coming week, so make sure you're subscribed. I'm Mike Papantonio, and this has been America's Lawyer, where we tell you stories that the corporate media won't tell you because their advertisers won't let them tell the stories. Advertisers are going to say, I'm going to pull our money if you tell this story. Or their political connections are so Democrat or so Republican that they can't color outside the lines at all. As you can tell, we don't have that problem around here. We'll always color outside the lines and call balls and strikes. Hopefully we'll see you next time.